Mr. President, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, would you join the military and serve your country? I did. I served 4 years in the Air Force. Now, why would I join the military? I was 17 years old, just like my son, Frank here. I had a difficult decision. I had the draft facing me. How much was my time worth? I think labor, a minimum wage was around $2 an hour. I came from a small town up near Ventura, Santa Barbara, Central California. My future did not look bright. I didn't want to stay home. It was time for me to move out in my life. I wanted to go to college, but I had no money. I had no job. I had no financial support. And in fact, I didn't even have the drive to go to college. I wanted to go, but I said, do I really have the drive to make it through college? Well, in my senior year of high school, a recruiter had come in and talked to us. He was an Air Force recruiter, really nice guy. And he took a liking to me. And in one assembly, he stood me up in front of all the student body, and he said, here's a young man that I want to have in our Air Force. And everybody jumps up, yeah, you know how they say, with a young man. So I thought about it. I went to visit a military base, and I liked it. I liked the people. They were nice to me. So I joined. Before I joined, though, I asked my mom, Mom, would you mind if I joined the military? And she said, son, you determine where you're going to go in your life. What you do with your life is your decision. Now, she had 9 children. I have 4 brothers and 4 sisters. And all 4 of my brothers were in the military. Air Force, Navy, Army, paratrooper, and I went Air Force. I used to tell my mom, Mom, you're a hero. Here you got all these soldiers that you raised. So I went into the military Air Force. We processed through LA, train ride to Lackland Air Force Base. 6 weeks of basic training, which was like Boy Scout camp. Easy, no problem. I got assigned, and before I signed up, I got promised electronics training in the military. So I got assigned to Keesler Air Force Base in Mississippi. And they assigned me to heavy ground radar. It's a school, a big campus, it's like a college. And we went through 50 weeks of theory and practical electronics training, maintaining the heavy ground radars. Early warning. 50 weeks, I did well. It was an adventure. I went to Mardi Gras, New Orleans, it's in the South. All the young Americans, like about 400 of us in one squadron. They had thousands of students. I did very well. Toward the end of the 50 weeks, they asked you, where do you want to be assigned? And I didn't want to be too far away, but I wanted to be far away from my home. So I picked McClellan Air Force Base in Sacramento. I didn't want to go to Maine, that's too far. Florida, forget it. So I'm a Californian, so far enough away is Sacramento. I got assigned to Sacramento. And I got assigned to a GEA squadron, GEEIA, Ground Electronics Engineering Installation Agency. We installed heavy ground radars from the Mexican border to the Canadian border. So here I am, 19 years old. They gave me a credit card, a car, meals, and I lived 1 year in Sausalito in a hotel with the largest swimming pool in the whole county, with all the girls, every weekend and every night. And we worked on top of a mountain above Mill Valley, looking down at the Golden Gate Bridge, installing heavy ground radars. I worked with civilians, engineers, highly paid electronic techs, all college grads, all brilliant, all really sharp Americans. But they were just like us. They're no different than us right here. I said, well, I can do this. And I did. I worked with them. When they weren't there, I did their jobs. So it gave me an exposure to professionals. So a drive began to develop during those years, especially during the last year of my enlistment, that I wanted to go to college. Now, I applied for college, and I got accepted in my last year, and I went to college. The Air Force didn't want me to go to college. They wanted me to stay in the Air Force, but I went to college. I left and I went to college. It was hard, but I did well, and I transferred through to Berkeley, UC Berkeley, graduated as an engineer. So with the engineers that I worked with were General Dynamics, Raytheon, General Electric. I became an engineer, and I started to do work like they did. So the military gave me the roots and the drive and the courage and the confidence to go ahead. And that's why we need to expose ourselves to all kinds of different work and competent people. And that's partly why I'm here to work with everybody here, so that we can all help each other be better in our work and in our lives. Mr. President, Mr.